Yeah, I can say a lot of things. Thank you would be one of them to everybody in this room. I completely understand that I would not be here had it not been for your struggles. And so before I begin, I want to also quote Kwame and say, you know, if he says, you know, Frederick Douglass says, you know, without struggle there is no progress. And if progress is constant, right, so is struggle. And so it's not to be afraid of that, right? And as a young person, I'm trying to get into that struggle, you know, but it's going to always happen. And so, yeah, and it's still happening, however, you know, strategically, whatever. Forward, I just wanted to say that. So this poem is kind of an ode to all of the folks that have been organizing. There are two primary choices in life: to accept conditions as they exist, or accept the responsibility for changing. Before girls were considered cootie hoarders, before boys copied punk and sissy spewed out of the scriptures in our fathers' mouths, every morning in the 3rd grade, I stood to pledge allegiance to a flag dangling in the front of my class. I had not learned yet how crushed windpipes hanging in the same fashion were symbols of freedom too. Before freedom was a choice to cross the street alone, eat candy for breakfast, or not bathe. Before I knew Santa Claus was a black woman scraping together her last to see a smile spread across her son's face on a winter morning, I've been conditioned to learn every problem must have a multiple choice solution. Every year since the 3rd grade, my future has been led by the tip of a number 2 pencil, shading in alphabetized answers on a Scantron to determine what class I might end up in, lower, upper, or middle. And I've inhaled test prep booklets commanding me to concentrate, be patient, and careful, choose the correct solution, or eliminate answers I know are wrong. And since the 3rd grade, it seems Chicago has choked on all of the above except the process of elimination. When a board of ed ignores the voice of the throat it plans to close, it shows we are number 2 pencils shaven to fill in applications for Walmart or boxes or prisons or row houses or apartments pushed outside the city, flushed out. We are number 2. To boards of education who are better at plumbing than their namesake. The school-to-prison pipeline drains so many so well. When a mayor bullhorns to a city of unions on big shoulders and says, no choice, no funding, stiff as a neck ache says, eliminate 50 schools, and in the same breath heaves public dollars on a new stadium for DePaul, and in the same breath regurgitates a request for more charter schools, he suffocates and strangles classrooms packed like sardines, reeking of sweat, and one teacher with merely 2 hands, not wide enough to hand out quality education. The only cutting in line students fear is from their district's budget. We are blaming public schools for being stumped without looking at the root causes. Since the 3rd grade, fed the illusion we have multiple choices. But when an unelected school board closes schools in black and brown neighborhoods for the past decade, it is from a new lumber we are hanging by a thread sewn around our necks. What choices are we given then, except to become symbols of freedom too? A closed school means a door may block our entrance, but our people were born at the exit. And we stand and we fight and we organize even after tested by people who control our schools, who have never been inside them, who never send their children there, because we have numbers too. Because Santa Claus is a black woman somewhere wrapping her son's gift to place it under a tree and not see a city hang his future from one. For our schools are pillars, not to be pillaged for capital gain, for our choice will not be determined by a scantron or by politicians who make squad cars out of school buses or developers who displace communities cloaked in an urban renewal banner, or taken away by a board of education unveiling its splinters. Yeah.